On this edition of PrimeTime Yachts, we'll take a boat ride with Bob Johnstone of J-Boat and MJM Yachts fame on a very sloppy day off Palm Beach. And we'll also go behind the scenes to see the latest in high-tech yacht construction.
Welcome to the PrimeTime Yachts channel. I'm Kristen Bob. We are coming to you from the Bellport Lido Yacht Anchorage on beautiful Newport Harbor in Newport Beach, California. This TV show highlights powerboats that are good-looking, seaworthy, fast, functional cruising yachts. Everything from the Maine Lobster yacht to the sleek and modern picnic-style boats and motor yachts are featured on the PrimeTime Yachts channel. We'll bring you the new and used boats that are stirring up all the interest at the prestigious boat shows both east and west. Our first segment features a ride-along with sailing legend Bob Johnstone. Over 25 years ago, Bob and his brother Rod founded J-Boats, the leading brand of performance sailboats worldwide. With over 12,000 sailing, his focus on seaworthiness, performance, and ease of handling carry over to MJM Yachts. Bob takes us along for a ride on an MJM 40z on a very sloppy February day off Palm Beach, Florida, to experience why the 40Z, apart from its stunning good looks, takes offshore performance to another level.
The MJM 40Z here is going into 6 to 8 foot waves off Palm Beach in February. It's blowing 24 knots, gusting to 28. That's me, Bob Johnstone, driving. You don't see many powerboat companies showing videos of their boats in rough water. In fact, you don't see any other boats out here today. Not a normal boating day. After 9 years and 4,000 hours driving MJMs, I recall no more than 10 times going upwind in these conditions, and then for not more than 2 hours each. On an MJM, you have the speed to take advantage of small weather windows to avoid rough seas. On a slower boat, you don't. Here we're at trawler speed of 10 to 12 knots to stay attached to the waves and not go airborne. In a moment we'll show the boat crossing beam seas, then surfing down sea. When these waves are traveling 15 knots and the boat goes right into them at 12 knots, that's a potential for a 27 knot collision, not on an MJM. It's nice to have a hull that gets you over the top. Also notice the 40Z doesn't hobby horse, pitching up and down like you see in those Nordhaven videos. That Carolina bow flare keeps the bow from diving too deeply into the wave, helping to lift it over the top. Sure, we can make a few spectacular rainbow showers when cresting a steep wave, but notice, no solid green water is going over the top. The 40Z is ISO CE Mark certified as Class A Ocean. That's the highest certification available. Ocean is a higher rating than offshore. Not many boats this size qualify. The structure is built to withstand 21-foot ocean waves at speeds over 40 knots. How about steep cross seas on the beam? That's a big problem for lots of boats. The 40Z hull zips along here at 18 to 22 knots with great stability, shucking off steeper waves like playthings. You won't experience such stability with heavier, beamier boats having lots of superstructure. There are 4 reasons why. The 40Z has a very low VCG, that's vertical center of gravity. High-tech construction by Boston Boat Works make the MJM hull stronger and lighter above the waterline. Plus, that summer porch layout weighs far less than the heavy living room furniture and superstructure of the typical cabin cruiser. Top-heavy boats roll more. Second, a 40Z hull is not round or excessively V'd aft. The dead rise of the aft 1/3 of these Zern design MJMs with modified V is at a constant angle of less than 20 degrees, then tapers to a sharper 55 degrees at the bow. Too steep a V aft creates more instability, greater drag, and delayed steering response. Third, At over 20 knots, chine flats under the 40Z hull redirect wave and wake energy downwards and outwards, causing lift, thus creating a dynamic stabilizing force, like having a paravane or gyro stabilizer. Fourth, the ratio of that dynamic stabilizing force to beam is greater on a narrow boat. While a beamy boat has more form stability, that phrase form stability becomes an oxymoron if waves are tilted at 30 degrees. Going down sea with the waves is where driving a 40Z is a real hoot and safe. Check Zing out here doing 28 knots in complete control with fingertip steering. The boat climbs up the back of slower moving waves, bow hanging over the crest, then surfs down into the back of the next, parting its crest. That Carolina bow flare really pays off here. No need to pull back on the throttle to avoid submarining. No heavy mushy jet drive response. No delayed steering response of older deep V designs. No frightening veering, yawing, or bow steering. The 40Z is solid as a rock. But if you can't cruise at 25 knots, you can't do what the 40Z does. You will wallow and roll, seeming out of control at times between waves. Even the 40Z with throttle set for 25 knots will drop below 20 knots going up the back of a wave, so there's no way a slower boat will overtake large waves. You and your autopilot are safely in control and can relax when you can overtake waves. The waves are in control when they overtake you from every which way, and that can be scary. When a 70-something like me can drive a 40Z from Northeast Harbor, Maine to the Cape Cod Canal alone in these conditions, 200 miles in 8 hours, 20 to 30 miles offshore, you know it's easy and safe. But you never know what's out there. The MJM's instant response to the wheel probably saved me and a whale on that trip. It might have been curtains for both of us, with as little as a 1-second delay had I been in a jet-powered or deep V boat. Thanks to photographer Billy Black and a pair of very skilled helicopter pilots, we had 30 minutes of fun showing you how an MJM hull handles waves. With a cruising speed of up to 33 knots, you don't need much of a weather window in an MJM to reach your destination in smooth seas like those you can see here in the Lake Worth Inlet. I hope you enjoyed seeing Zing in rough seas as much as I did driving her. That you learned that by owning an MJM, there's less chance of encountering them. But if you do, you won't find better or safer designs to deal with them than an MJM. Thanks for watching.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the high-tech construction process that makes these boats so safe and strong. Stay with us.
Why list your yacht with PrimeTime Yachts? Well, PrimeTime Yachts' effort to sell your yacht is by far the most comprehensive of all yacht brokerage companies. We certainly go above and beyond any other brokerage company in order to sell your yacht. Here's what you'll get when you list with PrimeTime Yachts. A free, professional quality, high-definition video that tells the story of your vessel. All videos are produced by an Emmy Award-winning television director. This is a $5,000 plus value. All videos are promoted within many websites and can be featured in the new TV series, PrimeTime Yachts TV. Plus, premium listings are displayed at the PrimeTime Yachts display docks at many Southern California boat shows at our cost. Contact us today to experience the unparalleled sales and marketing strategies at PrimeTime Yachts.
Well, what makes the 40Z so rugged in rough seas? MJM Yachts licensee Boston Boat Works is the one American boat builder, power or sail, having a 30-year track record, using advanced materials such as epoxy, Kevlar, carbon fiber, and Corcel. They have Olympic medal world championship and America's Cup winning racing yachts to their credit. because their yachts are lighter, stronger, and faster. MJM Yachts are one of only a few vessels their size certified and built to ISO CE mark Class A Ocean structural standards. The MJM Yachts philosophy is that today's buyer won't be satisfied with anything less than the absolute best in terms of classic lines, available technology, functionality, and performance. Let's now go behind the scenes with Christopher Hughes from BoatTest.com to see how Boston Boat Works performs their magic.
Hi, Christopher Hughes for BoatTest.com. Today we're going behind the scenes at the Boston Boat Works, the manufacturer of MJM Yachts. These yachts are manufactured utilizing a unique and technologically sophisticated process and materials. Let's see how it's done. The process for creating the hull and the deck are exactly the same, with a gel coat being applied to the mold and then a vinyl ester tie coat being applied on top of that. From this point on is where the construction of an MJM yacht differs from traditional methods and materials. At this stage, if we were building a hull, it would receive a layer of Kevlar E-glass hybrid for impact strength. But let's take a look at the deck being constructed. On top of the tie coat, they apply an epoxy laminate of multiple layers of unidirectional fiberglass specifically oriented with the loads in the structure of the boat. This sample of triaxial glass shows the longitudinal fibers that run the full length of the vessel, and on the other side, run at plus and minus 45 degrees to take crosswise loads. MJMs are built with epoxy resin because of its exceptional toughness, which allows it to absorb strains up to 2 to 3 times what normal polyester resin can withstand. It is on this layer that the unique structure of the deck and hull are formed. They first coat engineered foam cores with epoxy and begin to apply them in layers within the mold. Here you can see there are different colors of foam core, and that is because each is engineered to carry different loads. The light green is a 5-pound core, and the dark Penske board is a 25-pound core. This core material is computer cut and comes in a large box as a model-specific kit, as you can see here. Each of these cores has a different density and a number which identifies its specific location within the hull or the deck mold. The team uses a map that shows exactly where each numbered core part is to be placed. Here you can see how complex the assembly process actually is, with each core piece being coated, then placed. After the foam cores are in place, they add additional layers of biaxial fiberglass fabric, as you can see here, going over a piece of the Penske core at the bow on the deck. Note that the deck is assembled upside down in the mold. In locations where hardware will be mounted, special high-density core blocks are used in addition to aluminum backing plates. Before any of the biaxial glass fabric is applied, it is first impregnated with the epoxy resin. Here you can see the process, which utilizes a specialized machine. The fabric is fed through a bath of epoxy, then between rollers which control the ratio of resin. It is important to note that the ratio of resin to the glass fabric by weight is exactly 60 to 40, 60% glass weight to 40% resin. This is important because the strength comes from the glass. Here you can see how the resin-impregnated bi-glass is then applied to the foam core structure, with the main strands running bow to stern. This completes the main structural process and leaves us with the outer gel coat, a tie coat, an epoxy laminate layer, and the engineered foam core, all enclosed in the last layer of bi-glass. This process and these materials enable each MJM yacht to be almost half the weight of a boat manufactured the traditional way. The main reason being the ratio of glass to resin and the engineered foam cores. The next step is to laminate all of the layers together and remove excess resin. To do this, they vacuum bag the entire structure. They first lay down a breather material designed to help distribute the vacuum pressure of 1 ton per square inch evenly over the entire surface. During this process, the breather material also soaks up excess resin. The next step is to apply a strip of pliable adhesive to the outer edges of the mold. This will then adhere to and create an airtight seal with the plastic bag cover. Then a worker strategically positions several connectors, cuts out a small hole, and seals the connection point to the plastic. Next is to hook up one of several vacuum hoses and begin the process of removing all the air. Being under a vacuum, any air bubbles are removed. The components are laminated together under vacuum pressure and excess resin is drawn into the breather material. For the next 30 to 40 minutes, the team works to ensure that the plastic is smooth and fitted into all areas, with no bridging, as they call it, areas where the plastic is not flush with the structure. After vacuum bagging, the next step is post-curing the deck or hull. This is done by building an enclosure over the deck or hull and heating it for 8 to 12 hours. During this curing process, they monitor several key points with thermocouplers. As you can see here, each mold is pre-wired with up to 14 different sensors to allow for precise temperature measuring during post-cure. This is all controlled and monitored from this laptop station. The end result is an incredibly strong, durable, air-free deck or hull that has been laminated into one solid structure. Looking here at the edge of the deck, you can see how the structure has been compressed. These cutouts clearly demonstrate the different layers of material as well as the result of the process, forming a solid unit, which is surprisingly lightweight. Taking a look inside the finished hull, it is difficult to show on video just how sturdy and rugged the entire structure is. The stringer system has become one unitized part of the hull along with these internal bulkheads. This entire yacht, with the exception of a few hatch covers and the hardtop supports, is solid epoxy resin and glass. That's our look at the lamination process for an MJM yacht here at the Boston Boat Works. For BoatTest.com, I'm Christopher Hughes.
Thanks, Christopher. Leaving nothing to chance, each MJM yacht is launched in Boston for sea trials before delivery. Tests of systems and calibration of instruments are conducted to ensure zero defects. This extra attention to detail costs more. Customer service, quality of construction, top-of-the-line hardware, and performance are not compromised to meet a price. Thanks for watching this edition of PrimeTime Yachts. In future editions, we'll bring you other fine power boats with equally graceful lines and quality of workmanship. For the PrimeTime Yachts channel, I'm Kristen Bach.